children and the people of Gaza. That's what they're saying. I think it's a joke. The Israelis, first of all, one day before, they have thrown two small rockets and they called the director of the hospital to flee the hospital of everyone.
And we have breaking news coming in now. The U.S. President Joe Biden is landing in Israel. Remember, he he's visiting Israel amid the war with Gaza, in which over 4,000 people have been killed. So U.S. President Joe Biden there has landed in Israel. This comes just hours after an attack on a hospital in Gaza killed 500 people. So there are tense situations. There's a tense situation there in Israel. The war is clearly escalated, and amid that, the U.S. President Joe Biden has arrived in Israel. Now, if I tell you what all is on his agenda, the White House has said that the U.S. President Joe Biden was going to ask the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu some tough questions. That's what the White House has said. And President Biden is also going to reiterate his support for Israel, and he's also said that America stands against any brutality, any violence against civilians. So he had said earlier in a post that I travel to Israel to stand in solidarity in the face of Hamas's brutal terrorist attack. And after that, the U.S. President was set to travel to Jordan to meet Arab leaders there, but that meeting has been cancelled by the Arab leaders after this attack on Gaza, in which 500 people died. Along with that, the U.S. President also had a meeting planned with the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas, but that has also been cancelled by the Palestinian President. So now the U.S. President is going to visit Israel. He's going to meet leaders there. He's going to reiterate the United States support for Israel amid this war. And Celia Mendoza from Voice of America is joining us from Tel Aviv in Israel. Celia, the U.S. President now has landed, as we can see.
That's right. The President of the United States just touched down in Tel Aviv. He's at the Ben Gurion airport. You can see the images live right now as he's making his way. An historic visit, of course, the first time that a U.S. president comes to Israel as a conflict is active. We know that there's been concerns about security. We had registered alerts over the past few days in terms of launches coming from Gaza, not only in the south, but here in Tel Aviv. Just 2 days ago, the Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, had to be taken with the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, into a bunker for about 5 minutes when rockets were sent from Gaza. This will be a very important and delicate time for the President of the United States. We know that the State Department had evacuated some of their personnel in some of the places, like Lebanon. They're moving some of the officials, diplomats that are in their embassies as tensions rise. This will be an opportunity, and we heard the statements from President Abbas. It will be a good opportunity for the President of the United States to be able to become a mediator and a peacemaker in the middle of something that it has been a really intense few days and now hours after the bombing to the hospital in Gaza. Joe Biden is known for his knowledge of foreign policy. As a senator for many years in Congress, as the vice president of Barack Obama, he had a lot of the foreign issues in his hands, and this is something that he has been compromised since he's been in office. He has led the efforts in Ukraine, and now he's been trying to establish and reestablish the relationship between Saudi Arabia and Israel, and that was something that has been said might have motivated the attack by Hamas here in Israel. We know that those conversations now have been paused, and this is the opportunity now for the president to walk a very delicate line between supporting Israel, which is something that he has stated and he keeps as one of the priorities during this trip. We also have heard from the state, from the Defense Department, they have moved two U.S. carriers to the Mediterranean, closer to Israel, and also they have deployed at least 5,000 Marines who are ready to come to this area. Of course, this is part of the support, but at the same time,
tensions there are escalating. Just a few hours before the US President's visit is when that attack on the Gaza hospital happened. So tell us this, that what all had the US President planned for his visit? What are the stated objectives by the White House? And which of those will now be challenged after that Gaza hospital attack? All right, we'll get that line back with Celia Mendoza in just a short while from now. But as Celia was pointing out, that this is a historic visit. This is a very important visit because it's the first visit by the head of the United States while an active war is underway in Israel. So this is an important visit. It's a historic visit in that context. And the US President has landed in Israel, as you can see in those visuals. And if we talk about his stated objectives, as I said, he is going to reiterate his support for Israel, and that comes just hours after a horrific attack on a hospital in Gaza in which over 500 people were killed. So that's the if we tell you what the president's objectives are, as stated by the White House. The White House said that the president is traveling to Israel to demonstrate his steadfast support for Israel in the face of Hamas's brutal terrorist attack and to consult on next steps. Now, President Biden was also set to visit Jordan, where he was set to meet His Majesty King Abdullah, the Egyptian President Sisi, and the Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. But those meetings are now cancelled because after this attack on the Gaza hospital. My colleague Mario Shakil now joining us for more on this. And Mario, we're seeing those visuals of the US President landing in Israel. And as Celia Mendoza was also pointing out, that this is historic in the sense that it's the first time the head of the United States is visiting Israel while an active war is underway.
Yes, that's right. But this is also a show of solidarity on part of Joe Biden, and he is hoping that he will be able to use the United States diplomatic leverage that US has in ensuring that it doesn't become a war which involves other nations as well. So that is the reason why US President Joe Biden's high-profile visit becomes important. He has just arrived in Tel Aviv. And minutes before his arrival, we saw that killing at a Gaza hospital where around 500 people have lost their lives. And very unfortunate, death and explosion that happened at the Al-Ahil Arab Hospital in Gaza, which has led to loss of life. Joe Biden did issue a statement while he was on his way to Israel. As far as other meetings are concerned, we really do not know whether many of those meetings will happen at all or not, because the reaction that has come from Jordan or other countries is that they would decide whether they would be meeting the US president at all. So he is hoping to meet the Palestinian president as well. This is just a very, very brief visit to Israel. But US president's visit becomes politically significant, diplomatically significant, and certainly it shows the United States, involvement in this entire development which is happening in the Middle East. Remember, just 3 weeks before the war broke out, we did see that movement, which was seen as historic and landmark in many ways, when a deal which was brokered by the US had taken almost like a final stages with Israel, between Israel and Saudi Arabia. But now that deal, certainly the normalization deal, is on hold. And as far as the further developments are concerned, whether he will be discussing war, the primary concern certainly is humanitarian.
The attack is horrific and has called for an immediate ceasefire. The Hamas militant groups say Israel is to blame for the strike, but Israel says the Palestinian Islamic Jihad group is responsible. Jordan has since cancelled a four-way summit with US President Joe Biden, Egypt's leader, and the president of the Palestinian territories. The European Council President Charles Michel was also quick to condemn the strike on the hospital.
We we got this information when we were together during this virtual meeting with the leaders. It seems to be confirmed, and an attack against Syrian infrastructure is not in line with international law.
Meanwhile, protests have erupted across the region, in particular in the occupied West Bank and southern Lebanon, which is controlled by the Hezbollah militant group. The faction has called for a, quote, day of unprecedented anger to be held on Wednesday. The US has issued a do not travel warning for Lebanon and has authorised all non-emergency personnel to leave.
Around 20 relatives of Germans being held hostage in Gaza gathered outside